Everyone sleeps on Atlanta. They see the traffic, the skylines, the airport layovers, and they move on. Biggest mistake. I gave myself 3 days and a tight budget to find the real city, the history, the food trails, the neighborhoods nobody films. What I found completely changed how I see the South. This is your blueprint. Let's go. Day 1. Atlanta's icons and Olympic legacy. Morning. National Center for Civil and Human Rights. Starting a vacation at a museum sounds like a mandatory school field trip, but this massive $58 million space completely threw off my morning schedule. The building recently doubled its footprint to add 6 massive galleries, connecting the history of the American civil rights movement straight into modern global human rights struggles. The core of the museum is the segregation-era lunch counter simulation. You sit down on a basic stool, put on heavy headphones, and place your palms flat on the counter. The second you close your eyes, the audio blasts in an intense wall of sound. An angry mob screaming slurs right in your ears, heavy footsteps stomping behind your back, and people slamming into your seat while the chair vibrates. My hands were sweating and my heart was racing. It strips away the safety of the history book and turns the past into a heavy, uncomfortable physical experience. From there, you walk into the galleries holding Martin Luther King's personal papers. Instead of the clean, printed text from school books, these are his actual handwritten speeches scribbled with a regular pen on ordinary yellow legal pads. Seeing the frantic crossed-out words and messy edits makes the man behind the historic voice feel incredibly human. Tickets run $26 plus tax. The doors open at 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday and 12 p.m. on Sunday, but you need to be inside before the last entry at 4 p.m. Late morning. World of Coca-Cola. Before coming to Atlanta, I never connected the city with Coca-Cola. Turns out a local pharmacist invented the syrup here back in 1886. Since the museum sits right across the plaza from the Civil Rights Museum, I walked straight over after finishing my morning tour. The main reason to pay the $30 entry fee is the tasting room upstairs. While the ground floors house old advertising signs and pop art, the top floor is a massive hall of self-serve fountains pouring 100 flavors from different continents. Everyone gets a tiny paper cup to sample the different global drinks. The standout is an Italian aperitif called Beverly. It's famous for being incredibly bitter tasting, like a mix of sharp grapefruit peel and medicine. It's completely foul, but watching tourists take a massive gulp and seeing their faces screw up is the entertainment of the room. If you decide to visit, hit the Africa and Asia sections first. Starting with standard sweet sodas completely numbs your taste buds before you get to the herbs and spices. Before leaving, I joined the line to get a photo with the moving Coca-Cola polar bear. I assumed the queue would be full of kids, but it was mostly adults wanting to high-five the mascot. Lunch at the food shop. For lunch, I headed over to the food shop. It's a tiny, cramped hole-in-the-wall downtown, so don't expect a fancy sit-down restaurant. They serve everything in cardboard takeout boxes called walk-and-eat bowls. I ordered the Creole jambalaya for $18, and the container was packed to the brim with chicken, sausage, shrimp, and rice. The portion is huge, even big enough for 2 people, landing somewhere between lunch and a commitment. Even though I was completely stuffed, I couldn't leave without ordering a side of Angie's bread pudding. It's a dense, warm dessert covered in a sweet sauce. I told myself I would only take 2 bites, but I ended up scraping the bottom of the box. Afternoon. Centennial Olympic Park and Olympic rings. I've had the 1996 Summers Games burned into my brain since I was a kid. I used to watch those Olympics like a total fanatic, losing it every time Michael Johnson tore down the track in those signature gold spikes. Finally getting into Centennial Olympic Park felt like a childhood mission accomplished. The park is the main anchor for downtown, and since it's free, it's a great spot to stop by for a bit without spending more money. Seeing the actual Olympic rings in person was the highlight for me. They look exactly like they did in those old TV broadcasts. Even with the crowd, I waited for my turn to grab a photo. I needed that physical proof from my younger self that I'd actually made it here. Insider tip. Are you looking for a more active way to see the grounds? Open up your phone and search for the digital treasure hunt designed specifically for the park. It uses the physical monuments and the bricks under your feet as clues to solve puzzles. It's a much better move if you have more energy than I did and want to actually explore the space instead of just melting into the lawn. Late afternoon, Georgia Aquarium. Who doesn't want to disappear under 6 million gallons of water for a few hours? For the last stop of the day, I went to the Georgia Aquarium. It's one of the largest in the world, located in downtown Atlanta, housing over 10 million gallons of water and everything from tiny penguins to massive whale sharks. The Ocean Voyager Gallery is truly the heart of this experience. Imagine standing before a 6 million gallon tank as whale sharks, these gentle giants built like underwater skyscrapers, drift effortlessly past. Time vanished fast while I watched them drift alongside manta rays, their wings cutting silent arcs through the blue light. Even though I came for the sharks, the beluga whales stole the show for me. They're unexpectedly curious, often swimming right up to the glass and making eye contact like they're getting to know you, not just letting you peek into their world. Prices range from $47 to $65. Expect to spend around 4 hours there. Insider tip. If the ticket price gives you pause, check out Imagination Nights held after 6 p.m. The cost is lower, the visitors are fewer, and suddenly you've got near private access to those expansive viewing windows. Evening, dinner at Ray's in the City. After a long day on my feet, I wanted a dinner that felt like a real event, so I walked over from the aquarium to Ray's in the City. Nestled right in the heart of downtown's bustling tourist area, I'll admit I was skeptical. Sometimes places like this feel more like shows than real dining experiences. But Ray's surprised me with its sharp focus on quality and its genuine love for great seafood. For starters, I tried their lobster mac and cheese, rich and perfectly creamy, and then moved on to the cedar plank salmon, which was beautifully fresh and full of flavor. Both dishes truly stood out. Expect to spend anywhere from $40 to $70 per person when it's all said and done. Day 2. Civil rights history in local Atlanta. Morning. Jackson Street Bridge. My second morning in Atlanta began at the Jackson Street Bridge, a spot that the fans of The Walking Dead will instantly recognize. This is where Rick Grimes first steps into an abandoned city, and standing there you can almost hear the echoes of that quiet, post-apocalyptic world come to life. At first glance, it's just an ordinary overpass, but face the skyline and suddenly, the city unfolds in a breathtaking sweep. I'd planned to snap a quick photo and move on, but I found myself lingering for 20 minutes, simply watching the urban rhythm begin to stir. Late morning, Martin Luther King Jr. Historic Site. The rest of my morning unfolded at the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Park, a place where history truly comes alive. Spread across several blocks, this expansive site lets you step inside the church where Dr. King delivered his powerful sermons and pay your respects at the peaceful resting place he shares with his wife. While standing in that sanctuary sent a wave of emotion through me, it was his childhood home that left the deepest impression. Standing in those unassuming rooms, hearing stories of his early years, transformed the icon into someone real, someone relatable. Insider tip. The ranger-guided tours of the birth home are absolutely worth prioritizing. They bring the space to life in ways you won't get on your own. Since these tours are the only part of the site not open for self-guided access, and spots fill up fast, head straight to the visitor center upon arrival to secure your spot in person. Lunch at Sweet Auburn Curb Market. I stopped by the Sweet Auburn Curb Market for lunch. Operating since 1918, it's clear this space was built as a public market first, with its food hall coming second. While waiting in line, you're surrounded by vendors selling raw hog heads, wild game, and mounds of fresh produce, proof of its traditional roots. Out there, among dozens of stalls, one spot caught my eye. Arepa Mia dishing out Venezuelan arepas. Thick rounds made of cornmeal arrive stuffed, slow-cooked beef tangled with black beans, slices of golden plantains tucked inside. Each bite feels like a meal built to last, solid and filling. Over on the other side of the hall, another heavyweight waits. Sweet Auburn barbecue piles high their pulled pork sandwiches, bread nearly disappearing under mounds of smoky meat. Their brisket fries come buried beneath toppings rich enough to satisfy anyone craving bold flavor that sticks to the ribs. Prices at nearly every primary food stand are quite affordable, between $10 and $18. Afternoon, the Carter Center. Up next on the journey is the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum, a place that's so much more than its name might suggest. Don't picture just rows of dusty books. Instead, imagine 35 acres of serene gardens, shimmering ponds, and peaceful walking trails wrapping around the entire space. Step inside and there's an exact copy of the Oval Office, recreated down to the smallest detail. What truly left an impression on me wasn't just Carter's time in office, but the powerful impact he made long after leaving Washington. The exhibit highlights his tireless global efforts to eliminate tropical diseases, a former president measuring success not by laws passed, but lives changed. $12 gets an adult inside, although keep in mind that doing both the exhibits and the outdoor areas takes around 2 or 3 hours. Insider tip. The front gate stops letting people in at precisely 3:30, even if the place itself runs later into the day. Reaching the site too late means being locked out, so timing matters more than you might think. For dinner, I wanted uncompromising Southern comfort food, which led me straight to Mary Mac's Tea Room. This place has been running in Midtown since 1945, and it's the very last of the massive mid-century tea rooms left in the city. A thick slice of chicken breast arrives pounded thin, then drenched in batter before hitting the fryer. Crisp outside, soft within, a mountain under silky white pepper sauce. I paired it with their baked macaroni and cheese and a side of sweet potato souffle so candied from brown sugar swirls, you could easily mistake it for pie after dark. Plates like this land between $17 and $23, each feeding more than one stomach if shared at late night. The whole place functions like a massive, loud family reunion, and they even got me a complimentary cup of pot liquor broth with a side of crackling cornbread since it was my first visit. Evening, Atlanta Hawks game. To close out the evening, I headed to State Farm Arena for an Atlanta Hawks game. Not being into basketball won't matter, even if you're not a fan of the sport, it's still an experience worth savoring. From start to finish, the audience hums with restless excitement while beats pulse through speakers without pause. Breaks between play filled with choreographed moments, DJ spinning, dancers moving, lights shifting. Despite the size of the venue, the layout pulls you in. Every seat somehow feels near the floor. And the food is a real upgrade from typical stadium fare. Local flavors shine here, and I couldn't resist grabbing a basket of Atlanta-style lemon pepper wet wings from a concourse vendor. They're perfectly crisp under a bold, zesty mix of buffalo sauce and a lemon pepper seasoning. Flavorful, messy, and totally satisfying. Insider tip. Payments inside the venue only go digital. Bring cards or mobile options instead of cash. Watch out for what you carry. Oversized bags won't get past security. Anything bigger than 14 inches by 14 inches, turned away on arrival. Day 3. Parks, Gardens, and the BeltLine. Morning, Piedmont Park. On my last morning in Atlanta, I began with a peaceful walk through Piedmont Park, a lush 200-acre oasis nestled in the heart of Midtown and truly the city's green centerpiece. Heading east through the park, my first stop was Lake Claramere. The loop trail around the water offers some of the most beautiful city views, especially at sunrise when the still surface perfectly reflects the towering Midtown buildings. It felt like stepping into a quiet retreat where locals filled the winding paths with their morning jogs and dog walks, making it easy to forget I was in the middle of a bustling city. Late morning, Atlanta Botanical Gardens. I never expected a plant-filled park to become a highlight of my time in Atlanta. I went in thinking it'd be a peaceful but simple stroll through labeled greenery, maybe nice, but nothing extraordinary. Instead, I found myself completely captivated for hours, wandering through a lush, ever-changing world filled with surprising ecosystems and breathtaking living art. I took a Candetta canopy walk, a sweeping elevated pathway that lifts you 40 feet into the air, letting you wander among the treetops. Saw the Earth Goddess sculpture that took my breath away. It's a towering living masterpiece blanketed in thousands of plants and blooms blending seamlessly into the surroundings. Photos don't come close to how grand and immersive it feels in person. My visit ended in a tropical conservatory where warm, humid air wraps around you the second you step in. Here, you'll find an incredible array of vibrant orchids and rare tropical plants that feel almost otherworldly. Insider tip. To skip the ticket lines at the entrance, grab your timed entry on your phone while you're still enjoying a morning walk in the nearby Piedmont Park. The garden uses dynamic pricing, so booking just a few hours ahead online often saves you a few bucks compared to buying at the gate. Lunch at Park Tavern. After exploring, I stayed in the botanical garden for lunch at Park Tavern. The real standout here is something you wouldn't expect, their sushi bar, which draws quite the crowd. I went for a spicy tuna roll and a plate of crispy fish tacos piled high with zesty slaw and chipotle ranch. The food is fresh, unfussy, and honestly, $25 felt like a great deal for such a scenic, central spot. Insider tip. If you get caught here during a downpour, consider yourself lucky. They run a historic local promo called the Rainy Day Draft. That means house-brewed craft beer goes for just $1 a pint all day long. A storm might just be your lucky break. Late afternoon, the BeltLine. Late in the afternoon, I wandered on to the east side trail of the Atlanta BeltLine, a vibrant transformation of forgotten rail lines into smooth, welcoming paths that wind right through the heartbeat of the city. Not some staged sightseeing stop, instead the route pulses with the rhythm of nearby streets. Out here, a short walk turned long without meaning to. Each turn pulls eyes toward new sights. Corners hide pieces that shift often, never static. A path acts like a display space under the sky, where paint climbs walls, marks cover surfaces, and shapes stand tall in the metal. Artists from nearby swap these works regularly, so nothing stays the same twice. Down at the southern end, I left the main route behind, veering toward the Krog Street Market for dinner. Insider tip. While you're walking on the trail, keep an eye out for the bright rainbow umbrella. That's the cart for the King of Pops, a legendary local Atlanta staple. Grab one of their fresh gourmet popsicles. The chocolate sea salt or the blackberry ginger lemonade are incredible. Evening, dinner at Ponce City Market. Tucked inside a grand 1926 Sears building, this vibrant multi-level marketplace stands as the heart and soul of modern Atlanta. A lively hub where community and creativity come together. For dinner, I stopped by Botiwala, choosing Indian street bites. The chicken tikka roll showed up, $14 for char-kissed tandoori chunks tucked inside soft naan slicked with butter. A pile of fresh crunch came along, plus sharp green chutney drizzled on top. Just before dusk, I rode the courtyard elevator up to the Skyline Park on the rooftop. With its nostalgic boardwalk charm and a fun mini golf course, it's delightful, but the true magic is the view. Standing on the deck as the sunset painted the Atlanta skyline in golden hues was the perfect, peaceful end to my last evening. Insider tip. While the marketplace welcomes you at no cost, getting up to the roof requires a $20 ticket for most adults. To make the most of it, grab your pass at the courtyard booth about 45 minutes before sunset. This way, you'll skip long elevator lines and arrive just in time to soak in the colors of the evening sky. Useful info for spending 3 days in Atlanta. Best time to visit Atlanta. Picking the right month for Atlanta truly shapes your experience, since your days will balance between outdoor adventures and indoor spots such as the Georgia Aquarium. For me, April and October stand out as ideal. Temperatures settle comfortably between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit, around 18 and 24 degrees Celsius, making it a joy to wander through the botanical gardens or spend a thoughtful afternoon at the historic site with energy to spare. Summertime, especially July and August, bring intense southern humidity that greets you the moment you step outside. Thick and heavy. Walking across sun-baked plazas like those in Centennial Olympic Park can quickly become draining. Winter, on the other hand, has its perks. far fewer crowds at popular spots, and a peaceful hush in places like the aquarium that makes for a surprisingly serene experience. Just be ready for the chilly winds that whip up between downtown skyscrapers. Airport tips. If you're flying into Atlanta, you'll likely land at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, and you're in for a smooth start. Located just 10 miles south of downtown, it's incredibly convenient. A quick 15 to 20 minute ride share will take you straight to the Centennial Olympic Park area for about $20 to $25. But here's an even smarter option. Skip the traffic entirely by hopping on the MARTA train, which runs right from the domestic terminal. The station's easy to find, nestled between baggage claim areas, and for under $3, the red or gold line will whisk you into the heart of downtown or midtown in less than 20 minutes. Where to stay? Choosing where to stay in Atlanta really comes down to the kind of neighborhood energy that speaks to you. If you're dreaming of stepping outside and being just a short walk from the Georgia Aquarium, the world of Coca-Cola, or catching a game at State Farm Arena, downtown is your go-to. It's lively, welcoming to visitors, and full of options, like the affordable and cozy home-to-suites starting around $150 a night, or the more stylish Glen Hotel, where a stay runs closer to $200 and offers a bit more flair. For a mix of local charm and vibrant city life, Midtown strikes a perfect balance. Nestled beside the beautiful Piedmont Park, it's brimming with inviting cafes by day and a fun, buzzing scene by night. Trendy spots like Moxie Midtown offer comfortable rooms for about $180. And if you're drawn to creativity and character, the East Side, especially around Inman Park, is pure magic. Think tree-lined streets, historic homes, and easy access to the BeltLine. How to get around. Exploring Atlanta with ease is all about choosing the right way to get around for each part of the city. When you're moving between major spots like the airport, downtown, and midtown, MARTA's Heavy Rail is your go-to choice. These trains cut right through the heart of the city, helping you skip Atlanta's busy roads with ease. For just $2.50 one way, you can ride smoothly from one hub to the next, and no need to fumble for a transit card. Just tap your credit card or phone at the gate, and you're on your way. If you're diving into the vibrant neighborhoods on the east side, leave your car behind and step onto the Atlanta BeltLine. This welcoming car-free trail connects beloved spots like Piedmont Park, Ponce City Market, and Inman Park, letting you stroll, jog, or scoot through creative corners and food destinations, all completely free. And when you're discovering the historic charm of downtown, let the Atlanta streetcar give your feet a break. It loops from Centennial Olympic Park to the MLK Historic Site, offering a relaxed, scenic ride for only $1. Where to eat? Atlanta's dining scene is so much more than classic Southern fare. It's a vibrant mix of flavors and experiences just waiting to be discovered. If you're looking for a standout meal that goes off the beaten path, these spots offer something truly special. For a high-energy, rite-of-passage experience, grab a table at Marcel in the West Side Provisions District. It's an opulently designed, retro-glamorous American steakhouse that feels like stepping back into a 1920s jazz parlor. While the prime steaks are legendary, their massive table-side flamed baked Alaska completely steals the show. A night here runs about $60 to $90 a person, but the decadent old-school theater makes it worth every cent. If you want a total shift in vibe, check out Del Bar in Inman Park. This loud, gorgeous, and vibrant neighborhood hotspot skips standard menus to dish out incredible, flavor-packed Middle Eastern street bites and spreads. They focus primarily on phenomenal wood-fired flatbreads, lamb kofta, and shared plates seasoned with intense mint, pomegranate, and sumac flavors. Depending on how many skewers you stack up, expect to spend about $35 to $55 a head. For something truly unique, book a table at La Semilla in Reynoldstown. This highly rated spot is a complete game changer, serving an entirely plant-based vegan Latin menu. They turn ingredients like zaitan, jackfruit, and lion's mane mushrooms into mind-blowing cubanos, empanadas, and charred yuca mash that will completely flip your idea of vegetarian dining. plates run between $14 and $25, meaning you can easily walk out stuffed for around $30 to $45 a person. History hits hard here, yet Atlanta keeps moving. Out of old struggles grows loud, fast-paced life today, draining, yes, but somehow still pulling you back. If your curiosity's fired up, smash that like button and subscribe for more real-deal travel insights. And if you're ready to see what else the South has cooking, dive into my full breakdown of the ultimate Orlando escape right here.